do update videos during the last quarter of school because it was my first being at the university and kind of getting past that transition phase that I was in. And I planned to do update videos and kind of talk about my journey, but I did not. I did some personal ones, but didn't really have time to upload them onto YouTube. And so I thought I would just do a little summary rundown of everything that happened. It was a lot harder than it was, and it wasn't a lot harder than I had imagined. You know, I thought things could have been a lot worse, but it was pretty intense. I didn't really have a whole lot of free time. That was the one of the things I missed most is that I didn't just have time to. I mean, I made time, of course, but uh, you know, there was a lot of multitasking involved. You know, watching Parks and Rec while doing homework, which actually helped in the long run. So for me, it helps to watch TV, but for a lot of people, that doesn't work. Um, it was very busy. I had 5 classes, which was 18 units, and I'd never taken that much before. I'd always had like 14 to 16, so, and it was a different kind of caliber of school, so I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect, but there was a lot of work involved. I was on the newspaper, there was a media class that I was taking, well, several media classes because I'm in communications, so it it all kind of went hand in hand with one another, but there was a lot of work involved. It was really stressful, not gonna lie. And it felt like never ending. I was like, I just want to be done. And to some degree, it felt like it went on forever, and others, it just felt like, wow, already done, you know. And I did make a lot of great friends because several of us had 2 classes together on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we really got to know each other, which really helped. It helps to get to know the people in your classes, and I really enjoyed that. So we actually have a class together this time around. So it helps to make connections in your classes, and it all feels really confusing at the time. But if you can find people in your class that are kind of going through the same things you are, or kind of have, or at least have the same major, the same classes, they kind of understand what you're going through, which really helps a lot. I know it did me. They were really encouraging. We encouraged one another. We had lunch together. Uh, yeah, it was great to be able to meet them and kind of vent because they knew exactly what I was going through. You know, my other friends and family would listen to my, you know, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, or oh, this paper, or this whatever, you know. So they knew, they understood, but the people in your class are going to get it more than anything because they're there and they share your pain. Um, so I mean, it really wasn't as bad as I thought. There just wasn't a lot of free time, and I guess that's what I missed the most. Like I don't mind going to school, but I like my free time and being able to write just for the fun of it. It seemed like after I'd get home, I was like, I do not want to write. Like I don't want to write anything. I don't want to do any of that. It just felt really overwhelming. It felt like I had no idea what I was doing. Even when I would talk to my counselor, it was like, this is just a totally different ball game, you know. Getting used to the people out there, it's so much bigger. And trying not to compare myself to other people was the biggest thing that I struggled with because it's, you know, there are just so many people that have had experience. You know, they've had jobs, they've had, you know, they've worked with the newspaper, like the actual newspaper in town, not just the student one. It just seemed like they had more experience, or they were better writers, or this or that. And I was always comparing myself, and it's the biggest stealer of joy that there is. So definitely don't do that. I'm working on that this quarter. And now that I'm used to everything, I know where most buildings are. I know where most of the things are. Last year it was just like, well, it was still last year, 2013. But I'd get there and it was just so overwhelming. It was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I didn't think journalism was the thing for me because that's what I'm majoring in, and I feel more clarity with what I want to do, the direction I'm heading in, because when you first start off, it's like, okay, there's so many different directions that you could go in for journalism and communications as a whole. You know, is journalism really the thing for me? You know, and then there's radio, there's TV, there's newspaper, there's magazine, and I think I would love to work for E, but probably just starting out, like I'd really like to work for a magazine because I've just always had an obsession with magazines and the design and the layout. So that's also something I'd really like to look into too. But um, for now, I'm just going to focus on, magazine, maybe even blogging somehow if I can incorporate that. Um, but yeah, I'm fine tuning like what it is specifically that I want to do instead of just like, yeah, journalism. Okay, what do you want to do with that? Because you don't realize how broad of a scope it is. But it's all good, and I'm learning from everything. So that's what it's all about right now, is making mistakes and learning from those mistakes before you get out in the real world. So it all turned out fine. Like I made some friends. I made, a few connections. Just getting to know your professors is a connection in itself because you're going to have them the rest of your college career. So being able to talk to them and get to know them is part of the battle. I did my first presentation and it was really well. It went really well. The professor really liked it and was like, "Oh, can I use this for the study guide?" And I have one of these, but it didn't turn out quite like this. So I'm really glad that that turned out the way it did because I was so stressed out with that. It's like I had a presentation and I had to write a paper and I had to do this and there were so many things going on at one time. I don't know how people work and go to school at the same time. I know it can be done, but I just never have had a job, so I can't even imagine. But yeah, so I was really happy with the way that turned out. It was a load off. And then at the end of the quarter, I found out that I passed with 4 A's and 1 B, which I didn't think was too bad. I worked my butt off, but I was not expecting those grades either. So, or I just didn't know what to expect because I hadn't really kept up with my grades so much because they weren't posting them. You had to like make an appointment, and I just never did. But and then I ended up making the dean's list. So I was really happy with this quarter, and it gave me the confidence to know that I can do it. If that was my first quarter and I was freaking out and not really sure of myself and what I was doing, I think now I'm on the right track. And I think it's good to have a balance. In fact, there's a Taylor Swift quote that I have on my wall that says, "I question everything about myself every step of the way. You have to have the same amount of fear and self-doubt as you do blind optimism." And it's right. She's right. You kind of have to have a balance, that it's okay to doubt yourself and it's okay to have those moments of, am I doing this right? Am I on the right track? But then to also realize that, yeah, I am good. I am awesome. I am a good writer. I am a good actor, or whatever you're studying in. So it's good to have a balance between the two. And tomorrow I go back for my second quarter. I only have 4 classes this time, but it's 17 units. I have feature writing class. I'm back on the newspaper, hopefully as an assistant editor. I'm not too sure what all of that is going to entail. I have a mass media and society, and I am also in theories of communication. So there's a lot going on, and I'm hoping that I can start looking into an internship. I keep saying this, like an internship or a job or just more experience. That's what I need right now, is experience in the field that I'm doing, because it's one thing to blog and all those things, but I think I need like on-the-job experience, which is terrifying. But I'm really excited to see what happens this quarter. I'm looking forward to meeting new people, but also being able to build on the friendships that I kind of started making in this last quarter. Because I think it's cool when you get to travel with a lot of the same people because you're all in the same major, because you can help each other out, and especially once you get out of school, that hopefully it'll help you in the long run too, of making connections and maybe seeing each other around in the same field. So I think I have a better hold on what I need to do for my homework and priorities, prioritizing what's important to me, spending time with God, doing my my homework, making time for friends and family, and just making use of the free time that I do have instead of doing pointless things like Pinterest and just staying on there for hours on end or looking on Tumblr or, whatever. It's good to have a few minutes of free time, but it's what you're doing with those free time, those free moments. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm really excited, but I am hoping to blog more or vlog and blog more. Because I do like to document these moments, and I feel like I was just so wrapped up in everything that I didn't really have a chance to stop and like, wow, this is cool, And these are the last like 3 moments of being a an adult, not really still having that many responsibilities. To just kind of be free and do what I want, that wise, since I don't have a job right now, and yeah, so it'll be good to document and hopefully just I'd like to hang out with more people this time around instead of just being so like caught up in school that I like paralyze myself with fear because that's just not cool. So that's what's going on for me right now. I start tomorrow, 10 o'clock, and it's my first class. And I go until 7:30 at night, or 7:20. Those minutes count. So 7:20, and then I only go on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But Friday I only have one class, so that's good. Yay! And Tuesday and Thursday I'm off, so that'll give me a chance to do homework and some other things, and also TV day on Thursday. So I'm excited about that. Other than that, I'm excited and I'm ready to go. No more holding back. And it's helpful that I already know a lot of people, so that's kind of a load off. I know how things work, I know how the system is, and now it's go time. So that's all for now. Bye.